Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome to Farming Simulator, episode number 1, Coronavirus Edition. Yes, that's right, coronavirus. It's everywhere. COVID-19. We just cannot avoid this thing. Where I'm from, Washington, well, we're among the areas that has been hit most hard by it. Certainly not the worst, but we're up there on that list. At least in the United States, roughly half of all of the cases across the United States are in the state of Washington. Well over half of the deaths recorded in the United States have come in Washington. And as everyone knows by now, sports have gone inactive. They've gone AWOL. And the economy, very much doing the same thing. It's tough. It's tough on everyone. It's tough in Farming Sim too. Here in Farming Sim, we're on the Pacific Northwest 19 map. So, Washington. And my family, well, we were hit hard by the coronavirus as well. The economy, so bad that we had to scrape together everything we could, 3 generations coming together to buy a plot of land and start a farm. But after purchasing that plot of land, well, we didn't have much left. So with limited funds, we're prepared to make a go. Now in all seriousness, this is Farming Simulator 19 on very hard mode. Right now, our land, well, let's have a look around. That's all it is. Land. No buildings. We started with no equipment. We had just $500,000 to our name and this plot of land. So 3 generations have come together. Myself, Decathlon Gamer. My father, Papa, say hello.
Hello.
And my nephew, Johnny. Go ahead and say hello as well.
Hello.
So the 3 of us are going to do what we can, how we can, to survive this difficult period, not just in America, not just in Washington, but around the world. What we've done so far, you might have noticed, it is early morning on day 5 now. We've had a chance to purchase a little bit of equipment, which you can see most of it stored here. In all, we have 3 tractors. We'll go through those one by one. We have a couple of cultivators and a few seeders, including one of them that is a cultivator / seeder. And because of the limited funds, we are living early on through contracts. So we're trying to make a living right now by earning money, working for others around the area before we can build up our own farm, before we can purchase some fields and carrying out those contracts one by one. Now, most of the contracts that we've taken on early on in the game have been cultivating or sowing contracts. We have the Seasons mods and a number of other mods that are active. So with Seasons on, it's followed that natural progression as it's early spring. We've moved on to fertilizing though, and the fertilizing equipment is quite a bit more expensive than the cultivating sowing equipment is. Every time you accept a contract in multiplayer, with everyone working the same farm anyway, every time you accept a contract, you can only have one active at a time. So you can't have a trio of farmers working separate contracts. We all have to work together on that. So currently, as we're doing fertilizing, we're taking turns as we go through. So while my father has a chance to go off and take care of the active fertilizing contract, we're going to take this opportunity to show you around the map a little bit. This is not a base game map. The Pacific Northwest 19 map is a modded map, but again, as it is a Northwest map, as it's a Washington/Idaho map, it very much is close to home for myself, for us. So why don't we see the town? This is the best tractor that we have so far. This is the Case. But down in town, we've got a Valtra. This is the third tractor that we have. And I'll hop out for just a second and show you around the area. Small town, rural America. And this is the store location. So you can see most of our equipment is coming from here. Bridge nearby. And taking a glance at the map. The map shows you that we've got 35 fields in all. So 35 fields on this map. And the whole lower section, fields 29 through 35, fields 25 through 28, they're very large fields. They are quite large. A lot of the smaller fields are the north sector of the map. So fields 1 through 24 are considerably smaller than the fields to the south. When we do get enough capital to purchase a field, we'll definitely be starting with some of the smaller fields. In the meantime, to make a living, to make some money, to get by, we're definitely going to have to rely on contracts for most of the first year. Currently, the contract we are working is for fertilization of Field 4. You can see the tractor, which we had to borrow. For this contract, we try to not borrow whenever we can. Pays out better. Is just arriving at Field 4. And we'll jump over that location in a little bit. Right now, though, we are right in town. So this is the shop. That's where we're at the store. We've got a gas station right behind us, bakery, garden center, and a restaurant throughout the town area. There are a number of selling points on the map. And there you go, 4 selling points. So the Timberline Flour Mill, bakery, the restaurant, so 2 in town, and the agro wholesales. So the Timberline Flour Mill is right there on the northwest edge of the map, over by Field 4, and the agro wholesales on the northeast. So it's spread out pretty far. I mean, yes, we have 2 close together in town. The farm, where Johnny's located currently, is right up in here. One thing I really like about this map, with the rivers coming together and the fork, as they go through, you can see it really divides the map up into 3 separate areas. But more than that, it really creates a nice separation in another way. Let's go ahead and hop in the tractor, and we're going to head back up. And let me get my map back on. There we go. We are facing the opposite direction of where I want to go. Alright, here we go. On our way. So we're going to head back up past the farmland. And we'll head up towards field number 4. Ahead of me, I think you might be seeing what point I'm getting to. The river is at a considerably lower elevation than other parts of the map. And this northern section especially is on a high plateau. We've got plenty of undulating hills. So unlike some of the maps, people prefer that nice flat terrain, nice open. No. I enjoy this. Got a lot more to deal with. a weak tractor trying to go up this hill with a full load, yeah, good luck. Adds more to the game, adds more depth. That flag right ahead, that is the farmland. So you can see that's where we were standing when we began the episode a few minutes ago. Now, for this series, we'll be using a combination as we pass the farm here. I will be using a combination of live commentary as we go through, but I will also mix it in with time-lapse, especially some of these big fields. As we work contracts on these big fields, it does get a little on the mundane side of just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and so we will use time-lapse to speed those sections along as we do the playthrough. Go ahead and pull off to the side here for a moment and jump out, and you can see the equipment we're working with right now, the big fertilizer spreader. Now, sometimes on these contracts it makes sense to do it your own way, but we'd never be able to afford a big spreader like that ourselves. And so it actually makes sense to take a little bit off the top of what you're doing and borrow the equipment of the owner themselves. Now, like I mentioned, we do have the Seasons mod active. There we go, into the Seasons mod. Right now we have it split up into 15-day seasons, so a year is 60 days in length. And if you have played the Season mod, and you'll be aware that each season is split into 3 parts. So each of those 3 parts will last 5 days in length. During the day, slow the time down a bit, mostly running at ×5 speed, which I'll get back to that in a moment. And then at night, it's quite dark. It's quite dark. It's hard to work at night in this game, so we will quickly bypass nights at full 120 speed more often than not. So that's the layout, that's the plan, that's what we've got going on. Guys, how's it going with field number 4? I guess, Dad, that's you.
I just finished. Contract's done.
Oh, perfect. Let's go ahead and jump in then and finish that contract off. Now that, after, see, the lease cost was $636. We get a bit of a reimbursement for time back, and I'm assuming that's the spare fertilizer. So we get $4,000 out of that one. Not great. Now this other one's a much smaller field. It's going to be a much smaller sprayer, but I'll go ahead and take that one. Oh, it helps though if I hit the right button. It helps if I hit the right button, folks. I did not take the equipment with it.
That's because I ended up in it.
Is there equipment down there? Or did I not? I thought that I
ended up in your tractor.
Well, that was your tractor. I just drove it up there. Yeah. I didn't accept the equipment. So without the equipment, we can't complete it unless we buy that sprayer, or a small sprayer, which we do have fertilizer already. Might not be a bad thing to get one now. Liquid, solid, slurry, or manure. It's field 11. Let's see. Oh, that's this field right here next to us. Let's take a look at the store and see what is available. In terms of funding, we're not doing great, but we already have let's see, fertilizer technology, we can get 20,000, 24-meter spread, and that is solid. Or we can go with, oh, it's just 8,000 for this. Oh no, that's just an additional tank. 30,000 for the smallest. Yeah, why don't we go with the solid one? 20,000. Maybe we don't do this again anyway. It's not the first time we've forgotten to borrow the equipment, because usually we try to not lease the equipment. Alright, well that's down there, and so is the fertilizer anyway. So I'm already in a tractor. So we'll head out. And away we go. So as for gameplay, Johnny, my dad, they're both on keyboard, but I do have a wheel. However, it is not a farming simulator specific wheel. There are some out there and they are fantastic. That's not what I'm working with. What I'm working with is a Thrustmaster T150 PS4 specific wheel. Of course, we're on PC. This is a racing wheel. But it's got plenty of button options. Just enough that I've got most everything that I need on the steering column in one way or another. Makes gameplay much smoother, much easier to play. Easy to control the tractor and not lose your cool. Greenhouse looking area down there, that's the store. That's where we're headed. Go pick up the fertilizer spreader. And that's also where I have some solid fertilizer waiting. Facing the other way, isn't it? There we go. And I also happen to be right next to, no, that's the liquid, isn't it? Let's see, where is the, there it is, right next to it. Looks like I might be close enough to refill. I am. Okay, 1,000 is all we had in there. Let's see if that's enough. Imagine that's enough for this project. And this was field 11, which is right by the farm. Right now we have traffic turned off. Eventually we'll probably turn it back on. But there is a reason that the traffic is off. Any confessions? Apparently not. Had to do with a nickname that we were going to choose. As for my dad and Johnny, this is both of their first times making an appearance on the channel. And so, without names, we did discuss into some detail what to refer to each other as. And in that, the name Ziggy came up But no. It's not Ziggy Stardust. No, that was not the reference. But it had to do with a little zig and a little zag. Somebody was having a little trouble keeping it straight on the road. Totally fine.
I don't know who that would have been.
No? Gotta be somebody. Alright, so this is field 11. It's pretty boxy, aka square. And let's see, I have not really seen what do I have for this little puppy. This is gonna spray out the rear. It's got a pretty good width to it. I think I could probably scoot over a little bit. I don't want to waste the fertilizer. We are very much on a budget. Let's see if that's... $12 meters to the side. I think that's about right. Let's zoom out a little bit, and then we're going to turn this guy on. That's my lights. I don't need my lights. It's daytime. What I need is lower the fertilizer spreader. There we go. And we're going to turn it on. And how are we doing on the spray? Just about right on the money. Okay. This should only take about 3 or 4 passes. Now, normally this would be where we go into time lapse, as a few passes is enough to get the gist of what's going on. But as this is such a small field, this will be done in a flash, and I think we're actually going to be speeding up time to go to the next day, and on to day number 6. As contracts seem to come available, what was it, guys? It was like 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, between 5:30 and 6.
Yeah. So that seems to be when contracts are available. Now, as for Farming Simulator, we all played pretty extensively on FS15 a long time ago. And then FS17 came out, and we put in a pretty good amount of time on that one. Some of us in the family did. But early on, and after so much FS15 straight into FS17, after a while it was time to set it aside and move on and try a different game. And so it's been quite a while, and I didn't initially pick up FS19. There we go, contract finished. And we're right by the farm, so we'll just head back in here and store our new piece of equipment. Oh, that's the front loader. Go right over here. Alright, well, that's a contract done. Contract worth collecting. Did not pay for itself. And that's the problem with all these early contracts, is they're not paying for themselves as we accumulate the equipment. But in the long term, as we run our own field, that's where we'll benefit from it. Now, of course, there are certain exploits available in-game. Certain exploits that will allow you to just go in, buy a field, harvest what's there, take the money from that and sell it. Other exploits, plenty of other exploits that are available, like setting up your own farm and setting up a new one, and then setting up a new one, and setting up a new one, and then cashing in on that. But that's not what we're here to do. We're here to play this game as it was meant to be played. Let's take a moment and run back across the street here to field 11 and see what can we do about this field. Field owner is Elizabeth Frazier. Fruit type is wheat. It's germinated, fertilized 33%, even though we fertilized it fully a moment ago. And no weed. Now, previous was oilseed. There is a way to purchase fields. I'm not even sure. Is it like a corner of each field? That's how it used to be. But one of these days, we'll get our first field purchased so that we can get in on it. But we're going to obviously have to have various equipment because leasing is not a very good option in the long term. Short term, sure. But money's tight. Oh, wait, what did I see? Needs plowing, needs time. Yeah, that doesn't help us. Wonder if it's available in menu. Yeah, lands. Oh, there you go. Space to buy. Ooh, 1112 is a unit. You get both. So 11 and 12 are actually a pair. 10 we can almost afford. But yeah, 11 and 12 is 157,000. Not something we have right now. So we're going to have to definitely earn some money before we have 150,000 to buy some fields. I'm guessing others around are probably similarly. See, we don't technically own that yet either. 156,000. Probably what we should be buying first. And we could buy all that land. Can't do anything with it. Well, trees. Trees are an option. 152,000. Ooh, hello. Field number 5 is only 65,000. It's a small field, but it could be a starting point. 15 is only 52,000. So there's definitely some options out there for us. Our only problem now is we've got some time to kill before the next contract is available. So that's something we're going to be doing off camera. I think we're actually just about to that point where we could go ahead and call this one a first episode. There's that fork in the river. Gorgeous map. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Expect a long play on this one. It's going to take a while to earn the money that we need to make things happen. We're going to have to largely get through, I think, months or this first year before we can really save up enough and have the equipment we need to start handling our own fields. The harvesting part of it especially is going to be hard to pull off. But thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. It makes a really big difference. The algorithm will pick up a series a lot more in YouTube, as you probably know by now, the more you hit that like button. And if you like what you saw, hit subscribe. Tune in next time as we continue our journey. Thanks. Bye for now.